whatever he said to my bosses, I'm not aware of what he said to my bosses. All I know is he did tell my bosses whatever he told them, and he did call HR on me. HR has since then contacted me. What HR decided to do, because see, when I was served with the protection order, I was told by the sheriff that I cannot go to that work or to my job that I've been with for over 11 years, because Stuart he felt in fear of his safety. And so because I was told that I could not go to work, my bosses said that has nothing to do with my job and that I have no choice but to go to work. I said, it's either I go to work or I get arrested, and I can't risk losing, excuse me, Your Honor,
Welcome back to Family Court Drama. In today's episode, the plaintiff is seeking a temporary restraining order against his former co-worker. He states that they were once friends and worked together. The plaintiff alleges that the defendant defrauded him out of $5,130 and refuses to pay him back. When he tried to recover the money, he claims the defendant began harassing him with multiple calls and threatening text messages. The defendant, however, asserts that the plaintiff is lying and that he caused her to lose her job by contacting HR. She claims the plaintiff is acting out of vindictiveness. Let's get into this case and see what the judge thinks.
Raise your right hand, sir, ma'am. Y'all swear affirm testimony about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Iden, if you'll just start from the most recent event, and it's stalking, that pertains to stalking, and tell me what she has done to you specifically.
Okay, so before I proceed, I would like to make one clarification. As we just swore, we have to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. And one of the events I spoke of was her coming into my place of work unannounced. I actually found out after the fact that she was actually scheduled to come to work that day. So I do want to clarify for the court today that I found out after the fact she was scheduled to come to work that day. I haven't worked with her in over 2+ years. So based on the events that transpired prior, and finding out from my leadership and boss that she was in the building at the time, someone I hadn't worked with in over 2+ years in the same room, in the same space, I assumed she was showing up also to harass me. I just want to be clear about that. But everything else.
I appreciate that. That is something I wish other people would do when something's a mistake and clarified. So you are a gentleman and a scholar and a good example, Ms. Jones, Ms. Barnett, on what you got to do. You be humble. All right, go ahead, Mr. Iden.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the most recent event was on December the 31st of 2022, when the respondent, Ms. Jessica Lynette Evans, contacted me in a panicking tone based on how the messages she texted me, in addition to calling me when I was scheduled to work. This was after she had already made it abundantly clear just 9 days prior that she wanted no form of communication with me in form of text, call, or physical contact, which I obliged. When I requested she pay me the money that she financially defrauded from me. I text her, in addition to her husband, her supposed husband, Mr. Ernest Roundtree, in addition to her, Ms. Jessica Lynette Evans, in order to inquire getting my money back that she financially defrauded me from when she represented herself as an employee of the MA Briarcliff Apartments, MA Brookwood apartment complex she resides in currently, and she represented herself as an employee and was going to assist me get an apartment complex through that community. When I discovered beyond a reasonable doubt that she had financially defrauded me of my money in total of $4,330, and I have the bank statements to back that up today, as well as an $800 loan I had lent her in October, and I had the dates, but it was sometime in October. I want to say it was the 26th, but I have the exact date today with documentation. I gave her a loan of $800 when she told me, a friend and a coworker at the time, that she had a medical emergency, and I told her I would loan her $100 to assist her at a medical emergency, but I also inquired what time she could pay it back. I'm a full-time student, I'm a part-time worker, helping pay myself through college. So I don't have the money just now to just give people $800, but she's a friend and a colleague of 3+ years, so I trusted her and I wanted to help her. She told me it was life or death. And I lent her $800. So in total, $5,130. When I discovered that she had frauded me, she proceeded to send me harassing text messages, and I have the dates as well with documentation today to present. And then I will be honest, after I discovered what happened, and she sent me those harassing text messages when I was at work and called me in the span of, I want to say 10 to 11 times in the span of 2 minutes, I was concerned how she was going to react going forward. So I proceeded to build my case and text her, only text her. I didn't call her or meet her physically again. Then I let her know, I know what happened. I've confirmed beyond a reasonable doubt that you, my friend and co-worker of 3+ years, has defrauded me of $5,330. I want my money back, or I will use every legal matter or contact the local authorities to get my money back. She told me not so many words, kick rocks and go to court with it. I proceeded to do that, Your Honor, got a police report, Your Honor, contact human resources at our current employer, Your Honor. I reached out to the civil, I reached out to the courts, filed a civil suit. I never filed one in my life, but I had to look it up. I Googled it and I figured it out. And after that, then she sent me the text messages on the 31st. And I can provide that today in court as well. And that's how we ended up today here, Your Honor. That's what I have to say.
Well, you two also work together.
Yes, well, we work together, but she's been on medical leave for over 2+ years. So I've actually not physically been in the same building with her for over 2-3+ years. The last time we were physically in the same building was pre-pandemic, the whole situation. I've not physically been in the same building with her since then, because I met her working at our current employer over 3 years ago. And she took an extended medical leave of absence. So I hadn't seen her physically for several years until we met for the first time in Thanksgiving last year.
Okay.
Your
So
Honor.
she kept calling you on the phone and harassing.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how has she harassed you since you said here she has harassed you more since she's realized you filed the police report?
So I actually have, I can present today in the courts. She actually had lawyers send a letter to my parents' residence, and I have the documentation to provide to the court today, alleging that the loan I gave her, which I can prove to the court beyond a reasonable doubt today, was a loan. She knows it was a loan, but she's defaming me and claiming it was a gift. And she's having lawyers also send letters to my parents' residence. Has my parents freaked out because they're wondering what's going on, and I explained to them what happened. But I have the letter I can present to the court today too. In addition to her texting me and calling me when I was scheduled to work, when she found out I had filed a police reports, and I have a detective that was assigned to the case. In addition to contacting human resources, she sent me a series of texts that I can also provide to the court as well today in response to that. And now that I filed a civil suit and a protective order, now I have letters coming to my parents' private residence based off false allegations and claims that she knows is a lie. She knows is a lie. I can prove today to the court it is a lie, but she's purposely misrepresenting what's transpired between us just to harass me again. I have the letters too. 2 of them were sent today to me.
All right. So what are the text messages that she sent you? What did they say?
I'm going to open up the documents. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. You want to share your screen? Go ahead.
Okay. Excuse me, I haven't done this before. Desktop. I have to change my system preferences briefly on my Mac. Bear with me. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to apologies, Your Honor. I'm gonna have to use my phone to show it to you, because if I try to do it through share my desktop, the Mac application wants me to quit Zoom, which I don't want to do in order to enable that function. So I'll just try and scroll through to it. Please give me a second. Okay, Your Honor, I'm ready. I can read you the message. This is what she sent to me on the 31st when I was scheduled to work.
So you can't share the screen. Let me see it.
If I do it, it's gonna want me to quit the Zoom app. It showed me a warning that I have to quit the Zoom app. I have to enable a privacy setting on my Mac to do it. Let me try to see if I can use my phone instead. I have an iPhone. I think I can.
Go ahead and read it to me, and then if we have some questions, we'll.
Okay. Sorry about that. So on the 31st of December, Your Honor, she said to me, "My job stewards, really? And you want to get me locked up? You know I have a baby. What the F? Is this what we're doing? Stewards, come on. Not only do I need my job, but to have me arrested, you are really coming for me. How am I supposed to live? Can you call me, please? how can I work this out because I need my job and to go to jail? Come on. That's after she had called me too. She had called me and I ignored the calls. Then she sent me those series of texts. This is 9 days after she told me, and I can read exactly what she said 9 days prior. I should do, requesting I not make any form of contact or message to her, and I obliged, and I didn't do. I've now been to a residence, made a call or text or anything at all. I went ahead and proceeded with what I said I was going to do. Then she sent me that 9 days later.
Okay. Any more messages or text messages?
Not after that, no. At that moment, I informed my leadership I was going to get a restraining order against her because at that point, the harassment was just too much. And then I get a letter following me getting a temporary order against it. Then I get a letter.
Okay. All right. What text message did she send you?
To me.
Are you speaking to me or Miss Evans?
You, sir. What text message did she send you?
Oh, so the first one, because that's the last one she sent to me. Oh, are you talking about what she sent to me as far as talking to her? Sorry, Your Honor.
Right. You said she was text messaging you stuff too.
Okay, so this was on December the 22nd, 9 days prior, when I let her know I knew what she was doing and she was committing financial fraud. So I'm going to read it to you, Your Honor. She said, hello, what's going on?
Evans, I got to mute you. Thank you, because I hear the kids. Go ahead.
Okay. So initially I sent a text to her husband, and that's for context. And this is where I'm not reading you what I sent to her husband, but that's just for context of how she's responding now.
Okay.
What are you and Ernest talking about? Please tell me you didn't tell him. Hello, what is going on? Then I responded, Your Honor, I need my money back. I expect nothing less than $5,130 directly from you via Zelle. You have 48 hours starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning. Otherwise, I will take legal action and contact the appropriate authorities. She responded, Your Honor. Wow. I responded back. Already met in person with the real estate property manager of MAA Briarcliff, Miss Lori Thibodeau. It's over, Miss Jessica Roundtree Evans. Room 1603 doesn't exist. There is no transfer fee, only an application and processing fee. The list of lies and fraudulent statements go on. I need my money back. Thank you. She responded, is that a threat? I responded back, no, Miss Jessica Evans. If I don't get my money back by the deadline, I will let the legal court system handle this matter, as well as the appropriate authorities. She responded, nice. I just don't know what you're talking about, and I wish you wouldn't threaten me because all it sounds like is threats. I responded back, Your Honor. As I would say for the last time, I only intend on handling being financially defrauded through the legal court system and appropriate authorities. That's the only way I handle business. She responded.
So you feel like she has been contacting you and harassing you since this whole thing started?
Yes. After that.
Contact someone as a pattern for the purposes of intimidation, harassment, threatening. You feel like for your safety, you've been harassed, intimidated, things like that.
Yes, after this.
That's how you feel? All right, Ms. Evans, I'll let you respond.
Yes, Your Honor. I simply contacted him to try and get things worked out. That's the only reason why I did that. I am no threat to Stuart. He knows that. He knows I have never been any threat towards him. The only way that I found out where he lived, and I had to do that, was because I needed to respond with my attorney. I knew that Stuart had acquired attorneys, and I knew that Stuart, all those things that he said that he was doing to come after me, I knew that he was going to do that, and he did. So what I did was I spoke with an attorney. The attorney said that I absolutely either needed his work email address or his home address. I said, well, I don't know where Stuart lives. Never knew where Stuart lives. He knows where I live because he had me served. He's been to my home before. He spent time here with me and my family. He knows where I live. I didn't know where Stuart lived. So my attorney advised me to figure out a way to get his address. All I did was type his name in Google and his address came up. I then provided that to the attorney. That was the only sole purposes of doing that. I do not want to harm Stuart in any way, shape, or form. I simply asked to work this out. That is why I text, hey, how can we work this out? So Stuart, whatever he said to my bosses, I'm not aware of what he said to my bosses. All I know is he did tell my bosses whatever he told them, and he did call HR on me. HR has since then contacted me. What HR decided to do, because see, when I was served with the protection order, I was told by the sheriff that I cannot go to that work or to my job that I've been with for over 11 years because Stuart has then, he felt in fear of his safety. And so because I was told that I could not go to work, my bosses said that that has nothing to do with my job and that I have no choice but to go to work. I said, it's either I go to work or I get arrested, and I can't risk losing, excuse me, Your Honor, losing my freedom because I have a 1-year-old and he needs me and we sleep together every single night. And I don't want to lose that, nor do I want to compromise that. So I told my boss that I have no choice but to miss work. He said, well, then I will consider it unexcused. Your Honor, I started this job in my early 20s, and I worked so hard and held multiple positions. And because Stuart has proceeded to do all these things and become vindictive, and all the things that he's alleging about me, that I've showed anger issues in the past, and all these things that he said about me that are untrue, and he knows that's not true. I lost my job. I worked so hard, and I would have never, ever compromised that. I lost my job. So we no longer work together. And I have since then applied for a new job, which I today received an email communication that I got the job. But the only thing is they will run a background check. If there is a TPO against me or a protection order against me, I'm sure they will find that. They said in the email, and I can show you that none of those things can be on my background. Your Honor, I would never in my life, I've never harmed anyone, and nor will I ever. Over money, it's not worth it. It's not worth my freedom. It's not worth losing my baby. It's not worth the time with my family that I spend every day with them. And I have, since I was served with this protection order, I have spent every single day at home bawling my eyes out because, yes, he was a friend, and I considered a dear friend. And
well, Ms. Evans, sounds like he has an issue with you defrauding him, and then when he called
allegedly,
and then he caught on to it and started taking action to try to get his money back, then you started harassing him, and that you keep harassing somebody, then that's stalking.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I didn't consider that harassing because I was just trying to get a hold of him to find a way that we could just work this out without us having to go through these measures and these unnecessary steps. I will prove in court that this was not any ill intention. That there was not any ill intention, excuse me, and
anything else, sir?
Me, Your Honor?
Yeah, anything else from you?
Yes, Your Honor. Firstly, the respondents made this statement that is an alleged. If you do, I have my iPhone hooked up, so if any documentation you wish for me to provide to prove beyond a reasonable doubt what she did is not alleged, it's factual, I'm ready to provide to the court today. That's the first thing I'd like to say. Secondly, I also want to inform the courts that my boss, Gerardo Martinez, did reach out to me today, and I can provide a text message, so it's not hearsay, text message from him, that HR wants to speak to me because of allegations Ms. Jessica Lynette Evans made about me. So I also want to make that clear, because so all the waterwork she's put on today, Your Honor, and I'm trying to be respectful. The respondent has shown ever since I made my civil suit, I tried to be cordial about all this, even though she was a dear friend of 3+ years, co-worker of 3+ years, and I didn't see this coming. I dropped my guard for her, and I was punished accordingly for it. Stuff happens, life happens. Like I said, I'm a full-time student, I'm a part-time worker at the same employer for 5+ years. I'm going to my 6th year this year. Never, not a blip on my record working there, and I trusted her to do this for me. She did what she did. I tried to get the money back. She made it clear in not so many words. I can read the text message, kick rocks, as I read accordingly. And it was after I decided to go through what I said I was going to do, of local authorities and the municipal courts, then came the allegations that my boss is alleging she may have made. I'm going to find out when I go to work today what she alleged I may have done. to the HR. I hope it's not something. I'm honestly just going to assume it might be defamatory because I don't know what she could have alleged I did to her. But I just want to be clear that her getting a letter sent to my parents' home spooked my mom a lot, Your Honor. So I was just trying to find a place to stay, Your Honor. It wasn't supposed to come to this. I loaned her money for emergency.
Cases you've had from her, do you feel harassed, threatened?
She harassed me, Your Honor. She's harassed me.
Your Honor.
Yes.
She harassed me, man. I'm going to school full time.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Go ahead.
This is not so-called waterworks. This is real. This is me. And this is what I've been feeling since I've been served this protection order. Stewart is claiming that, oh, he was served letters and his family's upset. How do you think my family felt when that sheriff knocked on my door? How do you think I felt? You know what? I only had to find out his address because I have to respond accordingly. He is filing things through the court, so I myself had to acquire an attorney to protect myself, just as he's protecting himself, right? Your Honor, I did ask, how can we work this out? But Stewart refused. The day that he asked me to return, I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna cry, because I didn't want you to think that that I'm crying just to get out of anything. I'm not. The day that he asked for the money back, that was Christmas Day. Christmas Day, my alarms were going off at 5 o'clock in the morning in the building, and we were being evacuated. It was 9 degrees outside because the building was allegedly collapsing. People were running through the hall screaming, the building's collapsing. I spent my entire day working through that, as you know, or I don't know if you know, but multiple apartments flooded, and I'm talking over 20 units have flooded that day. So that day that he asked for me to respond, that day I could not respond because that was happening, but he wouldn't have understood that. He wouldn't have even cared because at the end of the day, he gave me a deadline, told me to respond by that day, but I could not. I was being evacuated. No, we were evacuated a total of 4 times that day. And then the final time we were told to stay out, we had to find a hotel to stay at because it was too dangerous for us to be in the building. So that day, unfortunately, I could not respond. And Stewart wouldn't have known that had been going on or went on because he made it very clear that he wanted me to respond that day. I could not. It was Christmas Day. And even if I wanted to pay him back that loan or gift, allegedly, right? Because we'll handle that in small claims court. Even if I was to handle that day, I couldn't, Your Honor. I didn't even have a Christmas tree, nor did we have gifts for our son because we're barely making it. He's a college student. I get that. But he has a lot of support that I don't, and we're barely making it. And now that I've lost my job because of this, even though I may have this new job, who knows when I'll be starting and making enough income to provide the way that I was with my job that I spent 11 years on, 11 plus years. I worked way too hard for that to fall apart the way that it did and out of my control.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Stewart?
Yes, Your Honor. Apologies for my slight outburst earlier. I do want to clarify something because I listened very attentively. I tried to. The respondent states that she lost her job because of this. That is factually incorrect. The reason being because my boss made it clear, and she already stated it herself, so it's not hearsay. She stated herself today in court that she was told, as human resources already informed me, and my boss, Gerardo Martinez, and my leadership, Daryl Seattle's informed me, that the restraining order does not prevent her from showing up to work. They made that abundantly clear to me, and she already stated it today in court as well, too. So she could come to work if she wanted to. All I requested from them was she stay away from me, and that really was not going to be too hard because when my current boss, Daryl Seattle, took over our department, she was actually moved to a different department that's across the store from us. So her maintaining distance from me wouldn't have been too complicated. My intention wasn't that, she'd get fired or whatever the case may be. I reported what I reported to human resources, and whatever decision they're going to do, which ultimately, from what they informed me, was leave it to the courts and the police force, was what they did. So she could show up to work. And I don't want to go into more hearsay because her leadership did tell me she could show up to work, but she chose not to show up to work. So I just want to be clear about that real quick. As well as I can share my iPhone screen if you want, Your Honor, because she said the loan is alleged. And I just, so you can see, so you can understand who we're dealing with, Your Honor, I have proof as well on my phone, if you want me to share my iPhone screen, that it wasn't a gift, it was a loan. She knows it's a loan, and she's making false claims that is alleged. So we know who we're dealing with, Your Honor. That's all I have to say.
So I'm gonna put
Your
this in
Honor.
place for, I'm done. I've heard what I need to hear. I'm gonna put this in place for 6 months. If you both place your email in the chat to me or Ms. Free, we'll
Thank
send
you,
you a
Your
copy
Honor.
of the order. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Ma-
Thank you,
Ma'am,
Your
I
Honor.
just,
I've made my decision.
okay, well,
Thank you,
now
Your
that
Honor. I
you've done
appreciate it.
that, I
Thank
would
you.
like to say,
No,
yes.
no, I don't need. Place your email in the chat. Once you place your email in the chat, you can leave. All right, Ms. Burnett.
Wow, what a case. The judge ruled in favour of the plaintiff, granting a 6-month temporary protection order against the defendant. What do you think? Did the judge make the right call? Or was the defendant telling the truth and the plaintiff was acting out of vindictiveness? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.